So I figured we'd come in here this evening and kind of pick off where we left off at last time. I don't have any music. This is kind of ad lib, really, because I'm actually just getting in. And I was like, I'm not going to miss another Tuesday. First, it was computer stuff. I think the time before that, I can't remember. Oh, I was doing a live and then it ended up, buffering. So I had to kind of drop off from there. So I was like, I'm not going to miss any more. And decided soon as I walk in, I'm going to sit down and get started. So while I'm talking today, I wanted to show you guys this because this has actually been sitting in my caddy for a long time. And I hadn't had a chance to show you guys this. Remember, I had did like the DIY alcohol inks. But during that time, I had came across these and saw them. And these are, what company is this? It just says metallic alcohol ink. I'll turn it this way so you guys can see. Yeah, metallic alcohol ink. And, I've had it for so long. Or maybe this is the name. Wayin. Wayin. I'll try to find the link and put it in the comments. Hi, Nail Genie. So good to see you. Thank you for coming. Hey, Jonna. That's My Nails and More by Jonna. She just changed her name because she's doing some added things to her channel. And Nail Genie, the Nail Genie SC, thank you for your comments on my video. She has a nail channel as well. Hey, Latoya. So I'm showing you guys these metallic alcohol inks. And the reason why I picked these, again, Wayin, Wayin. I don't know how it's pronounced. We're always butchering the names of these companies. But it comes with 6 bottles. And what I really liked is they're 15 milliliter bottles. They're not small, guys. So look at how nice of a size these bottles are. It's a nice size bottle. And then let me compare it to like one of these polished bottles. See, it's even larger than the polished bottles. And then this is a, oh wait, I got a Madam Glam right here. Just give you a comparison eye of the size of this. So 15 milliliters, and the Madam Glam polishes are also 15 milliliters. So that's the size of the bottle. But what caught my attention about this too is it says that it's highly pigmented. So, you know, I thought that was pretty good for a metallic alcohol ink. So there's 6 bottles. There's this, I'll show them to you individually. Rose gold. If I touch this, will it rotate it? There's a thing that says rotate device in my screen, but if I ain't getting ready to mess with it. Then there is copper. Okay. And I'm going to show you real quick how much pigment is in these bottles. So if you can see, I'll turn it this way. Here's the clear liquid here. And you see where the line is, where the pigment, the metallic pigment is. So I was like, hey, that's a lot of color. So, and of course, they would have to be shaken up. I don't know how this one got shaken. I think I moved the bottle. So rose gold, copper, gold. And again, same amount of pigment. There's the clear liquid. And then there's the pigment. So we're going to see how this comes out while I'm talking. Oh, and there's a pin in there too. Here's gunmetal. My father had this thing about gunmetal gray. Everything gunmetal gray. Well, you can't see the difference in the liquid because between the liquid and pigment because of how dark it is. Silver, you could see some of the difference. And then there's the pigment in the bottom. So they have to be shaken up pretty well from what I can see. But there's a lot of pigment in there. And then pearl, isn't that different for an alcohol ink? Can't wait to see how that comes out. So all of them, from what I can see, have about the same amount of pigment in it. And look, I thought it was going to be a special kind of pen because the instruction says shake well before use, turn the cap counterclockwise. And I don't know why that just says sealed package, but whatever. And it says use the push pin to drill a hole or use the scissors to cut off. I thought this was going to be some kind of all special kind of looking pen, right? Gold or something like that. Look, it's just a thumbtack. That's all it is. Literally, they said push pin. So there's a push pin. So I'll leave that there. I know, right? So what I did is before I started, I was actually sitting here rushing, trying to get some colors going so that we could see this on different colors, right? So I did white, nude, gray, black, because we always do only white and black. And then just 2 extra colors. I thought about red, but the reason why I came up with the purple and blue is because you see a lot of like galaxy type nails and stuff. So I said, well, maybe I'll use, I know, a thumbtack. Maybe I'll use blue and purple just to see how some of the colors will come out. But before I start, one of the things to do when you're using alcohol ink, you usually get better results if you use some matte top coat. So I am going to start off with this and throw some matte top coat on these. And while I'm talking, then I'll just get started with the nail school talk. And you know what? I did have some questions from people and even some personal friends whose kids that are interested in going to nail school. So I just said, let me just come up with some things to say, and then anybody can just kind of jump in with their answer, and, you know, whoever can view it. So nail school, for me in the beginning, it was really hard. And I know Q mentioned this too. It was really difficult for me to find a location, right? So I thought at the time, okay, it's a top coat. So that matte top coat is going to get cured for 60 seconds. And what else was I going to say about the matte top coat? It's cured for 60 seconds. Oh, that's the only one that's not on the stand because there were 6 colors and I only have, you know, these stands only carry 5 things. And they should make some that carry, you know, different numbers for stuff like this. But yeah, there wasn't a school like really close by. It was a little bit of a drive away. So it's not, if you're having a hard time locating a school, it's not uncommon to have a hard time finding something close to you. My suggestion would be you can even check your state licensing board website to see what schools are registered with them, because what I find is you kind of get a runaround when you're doing an internet search. There's these 2 particular websites that you always end up on, or I did anyway, that just kind of like listed schools, and a lot of them were beauty schools that didn't really have anything to do particularly with nails. So don't let that discourage you. Just keep looking. You can even, you know, inquire through some nail techs. Go get your nails done, and while you're sitting there just chatting, tell them, I'm considering going to nail school. You know, can you suggest a location, or do you know, where did you go to school? Some people will tell you. I don't see why they wouldn't. So yeah, just ask around. So that's it's not uncommon to have a difficult time finding a nail school. And I brought that up because Q brought that up in the past. And also Jonna, you know what? I did kind of like recall, because Jonna also, this is just a side note. Jonna asked before about Connecticut not requiring a license. They didn't during a period of time. I had to look it up, and then it refreshed my memory. I had to really jog my memory, because the more I thought about it, I did hear that while I was in nail school. And then in, I want to say 2020 or maybe even 2021, but it's been recent within the last few years that changed, and there is now a requirement. So, because doing a client service, what you're really doing is you're assuming some liability. So just because a state doesn't, you really should want that for yourself. And also, I wouldn't be less suspecting that an insurance you wouldn't even be able to have insurance coverage if you weren't licensed. And there was a lot of complaints about nail salons not being licensed during that time, and they were just hiring any young kids to willy-nilly come in there and practice, or even just do client services, and most of them weren't going very well. But yeah, and actually when I heard about it when I was in nail school, I believe it had more to do with the density of business population, or just general population. So yeah, you're right. If she told you that, she was correct. But it did change. Hey Leslie, Hillbilly Creativity. And I catch myself because I know you guys have been changing your channel names to identify with what you're doing on your channels. So that's Leslie, guys. So yeah, okay, nail school. And there have been some states that didn't require license, but you know something, with the blow up of doing nails, especially on YouTube, and the enthusiasm, don't be surprised. All the states are going to end up in total requiring some type of a license. Let me cure that some more. I think my this nail lamp is going on the brink. That nail lamp has lasted me now about a year and a half. So they usually give you, I think on average about, what is it, 45,000 hours, 55,000 hours. So if something isn't curing, the first thing to consider is how long you've had your nail lamp. Okay, so it said to just puncture. I don't want to cut the tips of these. I don't want to cut the tip and create a wider opening. I want this to be a control opening. So I think I'm just going to do this with the thumbtack. Okay, so that's nail school. The other thing to consider is the curriculum first. You consider the curriculum because you need to be somewhere where the curriculum hours is going to work for what's going on in your life, because attendance is going to be of most importance when it comes to nail school. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. Your attendance is going to be very critical. So you need to find out what are the hours of operation and/or / attendance that is required. I might have to use the scissors after all. The attendance that is required of the students. There are some schools that have their own hours. In general, though, most nail schools operate, Tuesday through Saturday. Okay, and they're usually closed on Sunday and Monday. And then the curriculum usually goes Tuesday through Friday, and Saturdays are usually client service days, maybe with some theory or something that's needed, or testing or quizzing, because there's regular testing as well. You said, oh wow, Q, oh wow, to what? Okay, I'm just cutting this open. Okay, maybe it wasn't as bad of an opening as I thought. So yeah, we're going to see how these colors look on these metallics look on these different colors. And I'm liking these colors. I need to pull my note list up, what I was going to yap away about. Okay, so yeah, there's morning class, and also there are schools that offer morning classes. They call it, morning classes, and then evening, or if they call it afternoon class, for those that have other jobs, other full-time jobs, and can only attend the theory part or the classroom part during particular hours. So some of them are split morning classes to evening classes, and then sometimes there's theory classes on Saturday. Okay, so that's class hours. So you need to, and I'm gonna tell you something, More often than not, at most schools, Saturday is a required day. Because you got to think about it. In this real profession, most people are going to be coming to get their nails done on a Saturday. Just like when it comes to hair. Most people are getting their services done. Thursday's a day, busy day. It gets to be a little busy. Friday's definitely busy, especially Friday evenings, and then Saturdays. So at a lot of locations, Saturdays are going to be a required day for attendance. Now, you may have, you may have a particular arrangement that the school will go along with, but it's usually expected for your attendance to be on Saturday. That's part of it. Oh, the Connecticut thing. Yeah, they was bringing all kinds of folks, little girls, and well, I say little girls. That's because I'm an old lady, but they was bringing on all kinds of folks to just come on in the shop and get hired. We used to have a school here in the area I live in until it burned down about 2 years ago. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's about school hours. And there are other schools that have more conservative hours or limited hours depending on how large their instructor staff is. But I know me, I preferred the whole week because I was there on Saturdays. Girl, I would leave there on Saturdays and run off and go teach motorcycle class right after I done did about 4 or 5 clients. Okay, I can't seem to get this one open. I don't know what this is. You see that? That kind of like distracted me. Okay, so that's part of it. So getting back to the attendance, your attendance is required by the state. So when you see that, as you're looking up nail schools and it says 300 hours, 360, 400, 420, or whatever the case may be, it varies by state. So I can't tell you what your state requirement is going to be. The nail school will tell you that it is I was going to say it is required. It is something that is officially recorded, whether it's by way of an instructor's signature each day that you attend, on a card that's kept on record, or I know one of the schools that I went to when I renewed my license, which I talked about that. I'm going to be doing that soon. They use punch clocks, just like you at work, girl, just like you on the job, and they punch in. And that time is documented because the school has a requirement to either have that information available if it's ever asked for, or there's a requirement of the school to submit that to the state along with proof of your test results. Okay, so attendance is a requirement and it is officially recorded. Oh gosh, that one's not open. I'll probably have to get my pliers. So let me just move right on. So are there any questions about anything that I talked about so far? We used to have, okay, I left off right there. Let me kind of backtrack real quick to see if I missed anything, because I was missing stuff in the one live. Yeah, these are nice size bottles, right? Okay, let me try to get this one open. You soaking up the info? Okay, yeah, so that is a state requirement, and there must be, it is required, there must be proof of it per your school. All right, so there is no, I'm going to duck out today. Well, we adults, but still, we play hooky from jobs too, right? But there's no, I'm not filling up to it. Well, you can not fill up to it, but those hours are going to be met. And I'm off to the side cutting it because these things are popping off. They're going to be met one way or the other. Otherwise, you're not going to be considered as having completed your course. Okay, guys? All right, so that's about the hours in attendance. So it is required and they must be done. Hey sis, how are you? I actually was going to reach out to you, but I've been going through some stuff. I've been busy. I just got in and I'm dealing with my dog. He's sick. He's kind of not doing so great today. He's in here. He's laying down up under his little blankie. Okay, so the curriculum. Now, this is the biggest thing that you want to concern yourself with, in addition to when the hours are, and you know, whether or not those are hours that you can actually attend. You know what? These have been sitting here and they've been going through different temperature changes in the room. So I'm wondering if maybe that's what happened. I mean, I just had them sitting up here. It could be my lamp sitting right next to it. Can I get some pliers? Can somebody grab me some pliers? Let me just stop right here while I'm waiting on that then. And then, oh, I dripped some. I splashed some. I don't even know what color that is. As far as the curriculum, that's going to be important to you because I mentioned this before in a few of my videos. There's different types of curriculums, right? You got a full beauty school or you have nail school. And I'm bringing it up so that you don't make the same mistake that I did, because I attended a full beauty school. And it wasn't until after I finished, and some of you guys already know this, I wished I took other classes. Like I wished I did esthetician. Because girl, I would be doing I can do for you, right? I do your nails, I do them eyebrows, maybe even some hair. Because I actually used to do my friend's hair when I was in my 20s. Girl, we would Friday night, my apartment, we would be all in my apartment. I do their nails, and there were 2 girls, I did their hair, and would have it laid like butter, okay? So after I thought about it, I was like, oh, I should have got licensed to do it. And I didn't. So strongly consider that before you make your final decision. If it's a full beauty school, think about taking everything that you may become maybe or may become later interested. As esthetician, now that's something to consider, guys. That is really something to consider too. Okay, so I wanted to make sure to bring that up so you guys don't end up doing the same thing that I did. I made a note here. Oh, yeah. So I made a note to myself here. The reason why I'm also bringing it up is because doing it from the very start as opposed to coming back may mean that it will cost you less, because you may have to pay a different price. You know, you guys know what I'm saying. It may cost you more if you decide to later come back and take it at its own separate tuition rate than it would be if you took it as an entire package. So that is something to strongly consider. Also, when it comes to full beauty schools, you have to check, okay? Make sure you remember to check. Some beauty schools are not going to let you only take their nail class portion of it. And of course, that's a way for them to make their money, right? Because who are you to tell me what I can take and what I can't, what I want to pay for and what I can't? Can I get some pliers? Everybody done got all cozy and went upstairs. Yeah, some schools are not going to let you take just the nail portion. If you're going to enroll in that school, they're going to tell you have to take the entire curriculum. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. My next note is telling me to tell you. My next note is telling me to tell you. Oh, so this next thing, oh, I already said that. Oh, so yeah, because the reason why I'm saying that too is because I did end up finding a school it was a smaller one that had its own particular hours. But wait a minute. No, that's backwards. My bad. The full beauty school is actually closer to me, but I didn't go there because they only allow, people to enroll in the full, they call it an academy. as opposed to just one portion of the curriculum. So I had to travel a little further to go to school. And also the school that I graduated from is a full academy too, but their rules were different. They did allow you to take a particular portion of the curriculum that you were interested in. Okay. So now cost, all right. I paid like, some of you guys are going to cringe because I know obviously the cost of class is much higher now. It costed me something like $1,800. Can I get a wow? If you guys paid more than that, somebody say something in the comments. I hate doing hair, OMG. I hate it. But a house full of hair too. Yeah. Hey, Pandora. And that's Pandora Muse 57. That's Pauline. And she has a nail channel as well. You picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah, because you said you were having a hard time finding the school. But you need to ask about, either look it up online, when you find the school, or ask about it. Yeah, you have to do it all now. That was a really, really good price. Hey, Kendall. It was a very, very fair price. So yeah, I don't know what it is now. I remember there was somebody, and from what I remember, she doesn't live very far from me. I don't know what school she went to, but she paid $10,000. Now, the thing about that though is I didn't have enough conversation with her because this was in a chat. So I didn't have enough conversation with her to determine whether or not that cost. I was getting ready to bring that up next, Q. That I never determined if that cost was for a full beauty school or if that was just for nail classes. Though it sounded like she was talking, it was only for nail classes. Isn't that something? Okay, so the next thing to move on to is there are some schools, their tuition cost includes your nail kit and or / their nail uniform, because you are going to be required to wear a uniform. And I don't know, depending on where you go, they're going to expect you to get your own. Just blend your colors in. When I went, it was just strictly all white. The instructors wore black and the students wore all white. So as long as it was white, they didn't care what you wore. But there are nail schools that have their own particular uniform that they wear, whether it be polo shirts or, cute little t-shirts with their school logo on it. And you need to ask whether or not that's going to be included in the cost of tuition, or is that, you know what I mean? You're going to have to find that out as well. So along with that is whether or not a nail kit, which a nail kit was included in the cost of mine, and I'm just talking and haven't moved along. So we're going to try this gold on the white. I don't think it's going to show up on the new, but we're going to try this gold across all of them. A nail kit, and the nail kit should include everything that you need to start. You should be able to do an acrylic set. That's basically, and it could be different at other schools, but you should be able to do an acrylic set. So in the nail kit, we had, nail clippers, we had the nail pusher, we had all the prep tools, we had the acrylic brush, which you guys have seen. Y'all see my baby. This is my little, look at it's just so beat up. This was my school acrylic brush, and this is it's still on here. Look, guys. I can't clearly see what brand, but it's a size 8, as most schools start you out with. And then we received a jar of acrylic, some monomer. I don't know. I know acetone was in it. I don't know if alcohol was in it, but during that time, alcohol was easily and readily available from any store. So oh, shoot. Should I do it that way? I thought this is why I didn't want to cut it open. So this is the gold on white. I'm just going to let it fall on there and let it let it do its thing, because this is just for visual to see how it's going to look. And I'm not even going to put anything to it to dilute it. We just want to see how the colors are going to come out looking on the base colors. So this is the gold. Not showing up very well on the nude, but you can see it though. Also, when it comes to the acrylic kits and uniforms, you need to find, you should find out too, because some schools prohibit certain things. It's not just about the fact that you need it or they provide it. Some things they prohibit as well. So a lot of schools, it's not uncommon that a lot of schools that have their own resources, like for instance, a school is named Beautified Nail Academy. They might have their own beautified nail products. So they're not going to allow you to bring your young nail stuff in there, or they're not going to allow you to bring your, what is it, Kiara Sky stuff in there. They're only going to, especially for client services, they're only going to want you to use their products. So keep that in mind as well. And I'm being sloppy, but it's okay because we're kind of talking. Oh, look how it comes out on the black. Wait until it dries. Let's wait until it dries. I got to scroll down my notes. Can you come downstairs? Sorry for yelling in your ears. I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes and see how metallic it comes out. Oh, it looks pretty on this blue. I believe that there should be another way to apply this instead of drippy. Okay, let me see if there's anything else while I'm waiting on that to dry to see if there's anything else to say about. Yeah, so they're not going to let you use. I know there was a nail school in Florida that I was planning on attending with my grandniece's mom. I told you guys that she's licensed and was trying to get reciprocity here from Japan. And there was a nail school in Pensacola, but they only have like their own products. They have their own uniform. So yeah, find out what that is in comparison to what the school tuition price is. And also you need to find out if you can nickel and dime. You know what I mean? Like, can you take this off the cost if you're not going to plan on using this? Or so be smart enough to do that too. And when it comes to implements and tools, start collecting your things before you go to school, right? Don't wait until you start going, because that's when you're going to need it. Maybe not until a couple of weeks or so into attending class, but you're still going to need it. So you don't want last minute having to scramble for that type of stuff. I interacted with a lot of people who have been doing nails, and some of them had gave me stuff. Man, I got this awesome set of toenail clippers. It would have been perfect for the guy that I was telling you guys about, but I didn't get it until afterwards. This is heavy duty. It's so heavy duty, it has a lock on the end of it. But yeah, start interacting with people, and you'll be surprised. A lot of nail techs, when they're wanting something new or they're overburdened with stuff laying around, they'll throw stuff at you. Yeah, they'll throw stuff at you. Okay, let me see. I'm scrolling down my notes, guys, so give me a minute. Can you come downstairs? 1 second, guys. I need some pliers. Real quick. I'm on live, so I can't just completely walk away. You guys hear my chair squeaking? So yeah, where did I leave off at? Start collecting your things even before you start school. I know for me, it was dollar store. It was dollar store. All of us was in a dollar store. And we'd be like, oh, girl, I found some new colors. LA colors. I got some new colors, because we weren't quite into like the gel polishes yet. So, yeah. Also, while you're in school, now I understand there are some schools that don't require this, and this may be an unpopular opinion. And quite frankly, we do not care. Okay. All up in here. I don't care. There are some nail schools and that online nail school stuff. Yeah. Is it going to provide you with the knowledge? Yeah. But the bigger advantage to attending nail school is a school that requires you to do client services. Okay. Um, that's the only way you're gonna get it. That's the only way you're gonna get it, guys. You're not gonna get it just by because you saw it in a book or you saw a YouTube video. All that's fine and great because there's so much information to be learned here in these YouTube streets, but you're still not going to get it until you do the actual service. When I went to nail school, I thought like everybody else. I'll just tell you a little bit about my attitude about from of going to nail school. You might do it. I need someone to specialize a school in what? Hard gel? You do just fine. Oh, my unpopular decision. Thank you. I'm glad you agree. You collected enough to go to school and 2 times more? Yeah, don't, yeah, no, yeah, no, girl, no online classes, okay? You need to get it, and I say you, like I'm talking to somebody specific, but you guys know I'm talking to everybody. There needs to be an attendance at a school where you are going to be required to do a full client service, whatever it may be. That is the only way that you're going to get an idea of what you need to do, what you need to know, how to do it. And you know what the biggest struggle was in the beginning for most of us in school was how to handle your client. How to handle your client. And when I say how to handle, good night, Pandora. When I say how to handle your client, I mean touching them. Everybody was afraid to touch somebody. So it breaks that first ice for you. Having to touch somebody's hand, having to manipulate somebody's hand. And not only that, your client service for schools that do them, they're required by the state too. So there's a record kept of that as well. So get into a school where they require you to do client service. How you gonna do acrylics and never practice it in school? So yeah, let me get back to while I'm waiting on him to bring these pliers. That was the goal. What should I do next? Let's do this rose gold. When I first attended nail school, I felt the same way, or my perspective, I should say, was the same as everybody else's. I thought they was going to teach me the acrylics. They was going to come up in here and somebody was going to sit down and be like, this is how you do the 3D flowers. And yeah, this is how you do the nail art. And this is how you, you draw Mickey Mouse and all. I thought all of that. This school was like the most well-known school. Okay. And I remember I would be on the bus coming from work or whatever. And it must have been like, I ain't going to say dismissal time, but I guess it was dismissal time. You will all of a sudden see the doors of this school open up and all these beautiful ladies with their hair did and all of that come out in these white uniforms. Oh, that rose gold looks nice. It doesn't look so good on the blue. Oh, yeah, you want to see it on the purple. I'm getting ready to do that next, right? So they would come out with their beautiful flowing white uniforms and stuff on. And I was like, oh, I want to go to nail school. I wanted to do something different. This is coming out a little more metallically consistent than the gold was. So I think I might have to mix the gold even more. It looks pretty on the purple. Let's look at it on the black. And I decided then that I wanted to, well, I didn't decide then that I wanted to go to, it would just fascinate me because that was back in the day. It just fascinated me to see it. So later on, those are too big, but that's okay. Later on, I just got sidetracked. Later on, I decided, you know what? I had an opportunity to attend, so that's what I did. And I thought I was going to go up in there and learn all this stuff. No, 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 I didn't learn anything. Well, I ain't going to say I didn't learn anything, but in truth, we didn't learn what we thought we were going to learn, or perhaps even what we wanted to learn. The purpose of your nail school is not to teach you acrylics. It's not to teach you polygel. It's not to get you into hard gel. They're only there to introduce you to the art of it. Okay. The real purpose of nail school, it is actually for you to acquire your license. So I remember when I first started my YouTube channel, I kept saying, oh, everybody's saying that they didn't learn anything in nail school. They didn't learn anything in nail school. It's not there for that. It is actually to place liability on you. You just want it plain and simple and not sugarcoated. It's just to introduce the idea that you have liability on your part as a nail technician licensed to do service on people because you're using implements and tools. So yeah, are they going to have you do acrylics? Yeah. Was there a requirement with the state board to do acrylics? Yeah. You know why? Because at that time, that's all most nail salons were doing was acrylics. Okay. So that rose gold is super gorge on pretty much all the colors. And here it is on the blue. Let me put the blue next to it too. It's pretty on the purple. So, okay, I did gold and rose gold. So let's see how this copper looks. I know that silver and that gunmetal is really only gonna, but you know what? I'm cutting myself off. I wonder how those are gonna look on black though. Well, you know what? Thank you, Q. I've listened. I feel like I've spent some time keeping my mouth closed, okay, and not triggering anyone or trying to stay neutral. But I also felt that, girl, you got experience, you've done services. So I just felt that it was about time for me to start sharing some of this with you. It ain't that I was holding back. Another part of it was, you know, you share information and then something else comes out and it comes across like what you share wasn't correct or true. I didn't want that type of battle going on either. So I just kind of, and that's how I am. I'll chill. I'll lay back. I'll sit in the cut, in the corner, in the dark, in the corner, in the dark. Okay. And I'll wait for that moment. And I just felt that after doing nail designs and talking and having fun and kind of spurting out some things here or there, I just felt that it was time to talk about it because a lot of people have been expressing their interest in nail school. I need to shake this up again because there's some separation. So let me shake that up. Yeah, no, right in the corner in the dark. So where did I leave off at? I'm trying to shake this up and think about where I left off at. Oh, that nail school is not there. They're not there to teach you acrylics. They're not there to teach you how to do aquarium nails, and they're not there to teach you how to do the 3D. That's not the purpose of nail school. And the reason why I'm also saying that, I'm going to separate this from the other ones. Oh, it's spilled out the top. I'm going to leave that right there. I'm going to leave this right here like this. I might as well just put it towards, oh, there's some excess. Let me just put that there. It's actually, I think when I was shaking it, it loosened up some of the top. They're there to license you, okay? And again, that's where I left off at. In that time, it was really only about acrylics and gel nails. No chip? No chip? You want the no chip? Okay, good night, sis. I'm so glad you made it by. I enjoyed the karaoke video. They're there to license you. And the reason why acrylic has been required is because acrylic services were predominant in the business at the time. So they needed to understand or know that you knew what you were doing when you're doing acrylics. That's why. And I wouldn't be surprised right now if with the introduction of polygel and hard gel, which they were out at a time, but not like they are now, that doesn't become a state requirement. But up until a certain, yeah, no chip. Okay. So that's the reason why acrylic had become a state requirement, because that was the quote unquote service. But like I said, don't be surprised if hard gel or polygel. Oh, I know why. Because they've been open, so some of it's spurting out the top. Yeah. So, and then acrylic nails are done. Now, this part is something that I don't understand. Acrylic nails are done differently for your state board. They use low odor or no odor, which I totally despise. I don't like none of that type of stuff. I just go for the straight acrylic. The smell doesn't bother me, and I don't like odorless. I don't know. I haven't tried drops. Yeah, they're saying that they offer gel manicures, and that's only because they're offering gel top. They're just putting they're letting you see that they're putting gel on top. And I just could not get my neighbor's daughter to understand that for the life of me. I was like, Ashley, well, let me see your nails. She would always have them done so cute. And I was like, what they do? And she was like, girl, these some gel nails. I was like, that's acrylic with gel on top. And she's like, no, they said they was gel nails. I said, that's what they said. Okay, this is the silver. And I know at this point this has gotten kind of sloppy, but you guys can see the colors, right? We're just doing this to see what colors show up. And let me see. Well, that's running down. What other notes I have? So I talked about, yeah, client services is a requirement and also recorded by the school. Depending on where you go, they'll have a number requirement. Like you may have to do 20 acrylic sets, or you might have to do 30 gel manicures, or you might have to do 2 practices of like some type of a nail mending service. Either, you know what I mean, like something happened to somebody's nails, so you have to show you know what to do. What else was there? Girl, I'm old and it's been such a while, I can't remember. But you get the picture. You're going to have to show them that you know how to do something. But overall, your state board is for you to show that you understand, you fully understand, and are committed to the responsibility of client service and its liability. So we can stop with the, I ain't learned nothing, I ain't learned nothing. We got YouTube to learn everything. I know this is so sloppy, but I'm enjoying being here talking to you guys. So you have to find out to inquire what the, make sure you ask and find out what the service requirement is. I knew it. Look at how that silver looks on the black. There it is right there. It shows up. It does show up on the white. I would imagine I would have to utilize more. Here's some in the corner that shows up better. You can see it on the nude. It kind of, I don't know if I would like that look. It just looks like a shimmer on top of this gray. It doesn't do a very good job of showing up on the purple or blue. But I'm liking this, especially that rose gold, that copper. I'm liking that. At this point, I don't even remember what I spent on it, so it don't even matter. I'm just picking out what I like. The copper, rose gold, and silver. Yeah, you can really see those. Yeah, nail repair, of course, is the most important, because nail repair, mind you, can involve maybe an error on your part. And how many times really, guys, have I even talked about knowing how to make corrections or repairs as you're doing services? You're going to face that if you're doing client services. I had to face it. I had to face it, and I didn't even make a mistake. So yeah, you have to know these things, guys, and that's what you're going to be proven to the state board. So if it's a school that doesn't require client services, I would run and go someplace else. Okay. I used to be sitting there bent over in that chair doing pedicures. I used to be sitting there bent over in that. But you know what? It got me into the salons faster too. It got me to working faster. It helped me with my confidence in doing nails, and it got me into the salons faster. My instructor actually recommended me and had me go somewhere and intern for a little while. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I do have to apologize, but apparently this is not coming off, and I don't want to mess it up. So maybe I'll just kind of like bring it in as a clip in a later video. The gunmetal. Okay, I might have to open it and put it in another container. But here is the pearl. Let's see how the pearl, I don't think it's going to show up on the white, but okay, here's a space. I think that was a space at the top of the white. Yeah. Did I cut it? I don't think I cut it. And, you know, when I was in school, my girls, we were all cool. But some of them know they would duck and dodge when clients started coming. Because the way it's typically arranged is, no, it's not going to show up on the white. The way it's typically arranged is when you get there in the morning, you have like your theory where you go through the book and, you know, anything else that needs to be covered by the instructor. And then you'll have a practice of something, or there may be something that you had to do. Like you guys saw me post the one about onycholysis. You may have to study that. Or there's quizzes. There's regular quizzes that are given out on your chapters or the material that's been, you know, that was the material that was covered. By now, these look like rotten nails. The pearl looks pretty though. I think it looks best. I think it's always best to just let it dry and then judge from there. But, or run the top under warm water. It might be hardened product, not letting it open. There's something there. It is hardened product. It's something there, like a glue, like a, you see it? There's something there. So I don't want to mess it up. Yeah, they used to run from client services. I remember one of the girls, every time client services started, she, oh, you know, she had a condition that she came up with. And then she was like, oh, my such and such is really acting up today. It's bothering me. I feel lightheaded. I'm getting dizzy. I feel like I'm going to throw up. And they would take her back over there in the estheticians. And they had a real beautiful quiet room set up in there. And they would have the soft music playing. And girlfriend would be up in there laid up all comfortable and just talking on her phone. And I would be like, you ain't coming out here to do none of these services? Girl, I ain't thinking about them services. But you know what? Like I said, you would only be cheating yourself. So find out the service requirement, client service requirement, and get ready for it. Get ready. And I already talked in the last video or the last couple of videos about getting a nail practice hand. You don't have to wait on anybody. Like my thing is I would always have to wait on somebody to be available. That's why I use nail practice hands. It's not that I favor them over people or live clients or nothing like that. I'm not going to sit here and wait on somebody for me to make progress. So I got a nail practice hand. So yeah, get ready. Make sure that they do client services. And I think that was the last of the notes that I wrote down. And all of this back and forth, going from the computer screen to check my notes, and this looking, actually this looks kind of artsy. Doing this, I may have missed a few things, and if I did, I'll bring it up in videos. right, guys? So I wanted to do this just to share with you my perspective of helping you when it comes to attending nail school and answer some of the questions that were asked of me, right? You said so true. What, cheating yourself if you don't do client services? Yeah, that's what. And you know what? There were times where there were no girls staying, like after theory or after whatever, and to do the client services because then the people would be out there waiting. Yeah, it does look like an art gallery, right? So, and they would be leaving. Oh no, I gotta go such my kids at school or whatever. And I would be sitting right there. And my instructor would be sitting there doing services and we would be side by side, side by side. So you know what? Now that I've started talking about this, I'm gonna show you guys in my next one, my nail school suitcase that I got laughed at about. But I loved it. I love that thing. And if there are people that attended school with me that ever come across my channel, they're going to know who I am because they're going to remember that suitcase. So yeah, guys, just some things I wanted to throw out there at you. Some things to be aware of, mindful of, or to things to ask about if you're choosing to go to nail school. Okay. And wow, I didn't know I was on here for this long. I'm going to sit here for about a couple of seconds just to see if there's any questions. I know you say you're soaking it up, but you know what? Let me ask some of you guys this. If you've checked into nail school, Q, I know you have. Are there any like conflicts that you ran into inquiring about nail school? Anything disagreeable or anything that you found to be kind of significant about the school, that they do something different? I hope this was helpful. I actually like the black one. I actually really like the black one because the colors really stand out on it. I think all the colors look pretty on the purple one too. The silver doesn't. I think it would have needed some more. No one answering your calls or email. You have to make a trip to that school. Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why they're not answering your calls or emails. When you call, try to call first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning. There's always staff at the school, or typically, okay, I can't speak for every single school, but if it's anything similar to what I described, try to call first thing in the morning, 9 a.m. Because usually from like 9 something, I say 9 something because we just kind of pouring up in there, but usually they're tied up in their rooms doing theory and nobody's going to break away from it. So even, they're probably tied up doing that or like registration stuff. So try to call first thing in the morning and catch an administrator. Lunchtime, that's usually when they're doing client services. So the routine, if it's done as I'm familiar, you come in, okay, and clients start coming in around 10:30, 11ish, which would be lunchtime, okay? And from that point on, it's client services for the rest of the day. And then at some point, the afternoon/evening class comes in and you start wrapping up your clients, and then anybody else that came in for services at the school will wait until that class is ready for client services, or they'll just be told the next scheduled appointments aren't until like 2-3 o'clock. Yeah, see, you've been calling around lunchtime. That's probably why it's hard time to get somebody to answer, especially if it's a smaller school too. They're dealing with people coming in now for services. So call first thing in the morning. And then let me know how that works. because they'll answer that phone. Or tell them, pick your color, gonna come get them. Do you like the black? I like the black too. I think all the colors. And then, you know, when I do a video, I'll do it on an individual color anyway. But this was just to explore how the inks would look on each of the colors and which inks look best on what color. And I was just kind of Savannah Tech. That's the name of the school. Do they do client services there? Because I'm talking as if I know what the school does. Oh, they do. That's great. That's great. Well, you're already getting accustomed to it because you've been doing the girls and stuff like that. So you'll be at a great advantage. And not only that, you also have your practice hands too. So you'll be at a really, really good advantage. So that's good. But yeah, if you catch them early in the morning, hopefully you'll get an answer because usually later in the day, they're dealing with customers. You're not sure. Once someone answers me, you can find out. Okay. Yeah, so it just popped in my head. Last and final thing. And I'm not trying to pry into anybody's personal business. Depending on where you go and if they have the arrangement, you guys do know that you can apply for student coverage. There are some schools that won't do it because the government usually has a tendency to frown upon, what am I trying to say here? They have a yeah, I did not know that until I started attending, like singled out nail schools. And what I mean by that is like just nail schools. But if it's a full beauty academy, okay, if it's a full beauty academy, depending, that was the other thing that I was going to mention, consider taking more than one thing, because if it's a full beauty academy and you consider taking more than one part of the curriculum, you can actually apply for assistance. Okay, so keep that in mind, guys. That was like one of the primary things, and I was going back and forth between the ink and talking about this. So yeah, find out about that too and see if you qualify, because I'm into that. If you qualify for it, I'm gonna get it. If I qualify for something, I'm gonna get it. Okay, because they do it for everybody else, and you guys know what I mean by that. They do it for everybody else, so why not you? So check and see, depending on what you take at that academy or school, if you can apply for any type of assistance. And also, I believe that's part of the way that it's done for students to take it in high schools. How else do you think that program is running? So, okay, guys. Well, if you didn't know it, I'm glad that you know it now, so it will help you, okay? And there's more as we, as time goes along on this channel, I'll cover more stuff. But that was just kind of like the get you into what to look for in a nail school, and what kind of knowledge to have on you as you walk in inquiring about one and deciding on whether or not you want to attend there. Okay, guys. So yeah, you are very welcome. I didn't realize that I had been on here this long. I was planning on this being about a half hour. So yeah, again, like I said, I hope it was helpful. I thank you so much for being here. I missed you guys these last couple of times. I'm glad to be back here this evening doing this. And I'm going to clean this up because my beginnings are horrible again. Still can't get it right in the beginning. Love you so much, Latoya. So I'm going to go. You guys have a great rest of your evening, morning, or afternoon, depending on where you're going to be tuning in from, especially watching this later. I should have drugged my son in here to comment read, but we had all just gotten in too, and he had just got off of work. So I was like, I'll just sit down and chit chat on my own. Okay, good night, you guys. And I'll see you. I have a post coming up on Thursday, and I'll see you then. Much love.